Success is a choice. You have to choose it over excuses. That one sentence holds the key to everything you're chasing. Because the truth is, most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they keep choosing excuses over action. Over time, those excuses become habits. And those habits quietly shape a life of regret, not results. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm too busy, or it's just not the right time, or I'll start when I feel ready. But deep down, you know that's not the real reason. That's the story you tell yourself to stay comfortable. But comfort never built a legacy. It never launched a dream. It never changed a life. You've got one shot at this life, one chance to go all in. And the longer you wait, the louder the excuses become. It's time to break the cycle. It's time to get serious. Because serious people don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it. They stop explaining their limits and start expanding their effort. And that shift, that's what changes everything. Today I'm going to walk you through 10 powerful chapters, each one crafted to help you crush the excuses, build momentum, and take back control of your future. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I take you on a journey that will shift your mindset, fuel your focus, and ignite the version of you that's been waiting to come alive. Let's dive in. Number 1, drop the blame and take back control. Let's begin with a hard truth. As long as you're blaming someone or something for where you are in life, you're handing over your power. It might feel justified. Maybe someone really did let you down. Maybe your circumstances haven't been fair. But blame will never move you forward. It might protect your pride, but it won't build your future. And that's what we're here for. To build, to grow, to take the next step. The moment you stop blaming is the moment you start building. Because when you blame, you freeze your progress. You wait for someone else to change before you can move forward. That's no way to live. If you want to take control of your life, the first step is full ownership. No matter what happened, what's happening, or who was involved. Responsibility is not about fault. It's about freedom. The more responsibility you take, the more power you have to change your future. Think about J.K. Rowling. Before she became one of the most successful authors in history, she was a single mother on welfare, rejected by multiple publishers. She had every reason to give up, every reason to blame her situation. But she didn't. She wrote. She believed. She kept going. And eventually, the world caught to her vision. That's the power of taking responsibility. It unlocks everything. So let me ask you, what have you been blaming your past, your parents, your lack of time, your job? What story are you repeating that's keeping you from making progress? The truth is, it's not them. It's not it. It's not the world. It's your move now. And that's not a burden. It's the greatest gift you'll ever receive. The moment you stop pointing fingers and start pointing forward, everything changes. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need to decide. No more blame. No more waiting. Today, take it back. Your focus, your direction, your future, it's yours. Own it. Number 2, clarity crushes confusion. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they don't really know what they want. Not clearly, not specifically. They say they want to be successful, but they haven't defined what success means. They say they want a better life, but they've never sat down and described what that looks like. And here's the problem. You can't hit a target you can't see. Without clarity, you drift. You try a little of this, dabble in a little of that, and wonder why nothing sticks. You change jobs, change goals, even change relationships. But the pattern stays the same, because the issue isn't your environment, it's your direction. Confusion leads to inaction, but clarity creates focus. It gives you the power to move with purpose. Think about Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich. Before that book became a cornerstone of self-development. Hill spent over 20 years studying successful people like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. But he didn't just gather stories, he asked a bigger question: what do they all have in common? What is the formula? And once he got clear, He organized that clarity into a message that has changed millions of lives. That didn't happen by accident. It happened through deep focus and specific vision. So how does this apply to you? It starts by getting honest. What do you want to achieve? Not just more money or a better body or a happier life. What does that mean? How much? By when? Doing what? Where, with who? You need to paint a vivid picture of the life you want. Because once your mind has that picture, it starts working like a GPS. Without the destination, you're just wandering. Clarity also saves energy. When you know what matters, you can say no to what doesn't. Distractions lose their power. Other people's opinions lose their grip. Every yes becomes more intentional. That's the power of a clear mind. It creates a clear path. You might be thinking, but I'm not sure where to begin. Start simple. Write down 3 things you really want to accomplish in the next 12 months. Be specific. Write them as if they've already happened. I have saved $10,000. I weigh 165 pounds and feel great. I've launched my business and made my first sale. Then ask yourself, what do I need to do this week to move in that direction? Don't underestimate this step. Clarity isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, you'll keep spinning your wheels, wasting time, making the same resolutions every January. But with it, you gain speed, you gain confidence, you gain momentum. Clarity also fuels belief. When you can see your future clearly, even if it hasn't happened yet, you start to believe it's possible. That belief pulls you forward on the hard days. It keeps you focused when life gets noisy, reminds you why you started. And sometimes, that's all you need to keep going. So here's the challenge. Take some time today, not tomorrow, not someday, today. Sit with your thoughts. Write them down. Get clear on where you want to go and who you want to become. Because clarity isn't just about setting goals. It's about setting the tone for your life. Stop chasing vague dreams. Stop living by default. You weren't born to drift. You were born to drive. And to drive, you need direction. Get it. Keep it. Follow it. Because clarity crushes confusion every time. Number 3. Stop waiting for perfect. Perfection is one of the most beautiful lies we tell ourselves. It sounds noble, even wise. I'll start when the timing's right. I just need to prepare a little more. I'll wait until I feel ready. But underneath all those words is one simple truth. It's fear wearing a mask. Waiting for perfection is just another excuse. And the longer you wait, the more momentum you lose. Life doesn't reward the one who waits the longest. It rewards the one who moves, who starts, who takes the first step even when things aren't clear, even when confidence is shaky. Let's talk about someone who knew a thing or two about imperfect starts. Thomas Edison. The man who brought us the light bulb didn't stumble on it in one try. He failed over 1,000 times. Some say it was closer to 10,000. Do you think he was waiting for a perfect plan? Do you think he sat around saying, "This idea isn't quite ready yet"? Not a chance. He was testing, trying, failing, adjusting. And because he moved forward instead of waiting for perfection, he gave the world one of its most transformative inventions. When you take action, even imperfect action, you learn. You gather experience. You discover what works and what doesn't. But when you sit still, frozen in the pursuit of perfection, all you gather is more doubt, more hesitation, more frustration. The real problem with waiting for perfect is that perfect doesn't exist. There will never be a moment when you have all the knowledge, all the money, all the time, all the motivation, and all the support. Life doesn't come with green lights at every corner. Most of the time you have to move on yellow, sometimes even on red. But if you don't move at all, you'll stay exactly where you are. 1 year from now, 5 years from now, still stuck in getting ready mode. Think about the people you admire most. The ones who built something great. The ones who turned ideas into reality. They didn't start because they were confident. They became confident because they started. Action creates confidence. Progress builds belief, not the other way around. You may have a dream you've been sitting on for years, a book you want to write, a business you want to launch, a change you want to make. But every time you get close, perfection whispers, not yet. And so you listen, you delay, you tweak, you wait. But that waiting becomes habit, and eventually habit becomes identity. You might think, what's the solution? Start messy, start small, start now. Write the first terrible paragraph of your book, record the awkward first video, launch the clumsy first version of your business. It won't be flawless, but it will be real. And real always beats perfect, because real moves. Real grows. Real teaches you something you can use. Perfect teaches you nothing, because it never happens. Think about it like this. The first pancake is always a little weird. It's not round. It might be undercooked. But nobody quits making pancakes because the first one flopped. You just make another, and another. And eventually you've got breakfast. Life is no different. What's important is building momentum, forward motion. Once you start, the game changes. You'll meet people you never expected. You'll face challenges that force you to grow. And you'll learn far more than you ever would have learned. Sitting on the sidelines, tweaking your plan. Don't let perfection steal another year of your life. You're not here to be flawless. You're here to be in motion. You're here to try, to fail, to adjust, and to rise. The world doesn't need your perfect version. It needs your present one. The one that's willing to begin, to improve, and to keep going. So what is it you've been putting off? What dream have you been polishing, waiting to feel ready? Let this be the moment you stop preparing and start doing. Take one imperfect step today, one bold move, one tiny action, and then another tomorrow. Because imperfect action will always take you further than perfect intentions. Stop waiting, start building. The clock's ticking, and the perfect time, it's now. Number 4, break the pattern. If you're relying on motivation to change your life, you're going to be disappointed. Motivation is like a spark. It feels good when it shows up, but it burns out fast. It's emotional. It's unpredictable. Some days it's strong, some days it's nowhere to be found. And if your progress depends on how motivated you feel, you'll never be consistent. You'll only work hard when it's convenient. You'll only show up when it's exciting. And that's not how greatness is built. Discipline, not motivation, is what creates results. Discipline is the decision to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early when the bed feels warm. It's sticking to your plan when no one's watching. It's doing the reps, writing the page, making the call, showing up, especially on the days you'd rather not. Think about Bruce Lee. He wasn't just one of the most iconic martial artists in history. He was a master of discipline. One of his most famous quotes sums it up perfectly. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. That's not motivation. That's discipline. That's getting better through focused, deliberate effort, repetition, precision, commitment. It's how mastery is built, and it's how strong habits are formed. The truth is, we all have patterns. Patterns of behavior, patterns of thought, patterns of reaction. And many of those patterns have become comfortable, even if they're holding us back. Maybe it's the habit of procrastinating. Maybe it's emotional eating. Maybe it's scrolling through your phone every time you feel stressed. These patterns are easy, they're familiar, but they won't take you where you want to go. To change your life, you have to break the pattern. And that starts with discipline. Not just once, not just when you're in the mood, but day after day, until the new pattern becomes stronger than the old one. Until doing the right thing becomes your new normal. Discipline isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being committed to your future self. The version of you who's healthier, stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It says, I may not feel like it right now, but I care too much about where I'm going to quit. You don't need to be a machine. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to go hard every day. You just need to show up every day. The power is in the pattern. The results are in the rhythm. Let's be honest. Motivation will come and go. Some mornings you'll wake up inspired. Others, you'll feel tired, unmotivated, even discouraged. That's normal. But disciplined people don't wait for the right mood. They rely on systems, routines, structure. They create a schedule and stick to it. And the beautiful part is, once discipline kicks in, motivation starts to show up more often. It's like your brain realizes, oh, we're doing this no matter what. Might as well get behind it. So how do you start building discipline? Start small. Don't try to change everything overnight. Pick one habit and commit to it for the next 7 days. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's journaling each night. Maybe it's putting your phone away during meals. Keep it simple, but do it daily. Every small discipline you build becomes a brick in the foundation of your new identity. And here's the thing, discipline builds confidence. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you prove that you're dependable, that you can be trusted, that you're in control. Over time, that quiet confidence starts to grow. You start to believe, deep down, that you can take on anything. So the next time you catch yourself waiting to feel motivated, pause and remind yourself, motivation is optional. Discipline is essential. Success doesn't belong to the most inspired. It belongs to the most consistent. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to do it. The pattern starts now. Break the old, build the new, and let discipline lead the way. Number 5. Your circle is your future. If you want to know where your life is headed, look at the people around you. Your circle, the people you spend the most time with, is shaping your thoughts, your habits, your energy, and your future. Whether you realize it or not, you are being influenced every single day. The conversations you hear, the values that are celebrated, the mindset that's normalized, these things don't stay around you, they get inside you. And over time, you become what you're surrounded by. If your circle is full of people who make excuses, who settle for less, who talk about dreams but never chase them, you'll start to do the same. You'll start to believe that staying average is acceptable. You'll start lowering your standards just to fit in. But if your circle is full of people who push themselves, who talk ideas instead of gossip, who challenge you to grow, everything starts to rise. Your standards rise. Your energy rises. Your confidence rises. This isn't just motivational talk. It's proven through history. Take a look at Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest and most influential businessmen of the 19th century. He wasn't born into wealth. He was an immigrant, started working at a young age, and faced enormous challenges. But one of his greatest advantages was the people he surrounded himself with. He built mastermind groups, connected with visionaries, and learned from other ambitious leaders. Later, he mentored Napoleon Hill and emphasized that success is never a solo journey. Carnegie knew that proximity is power, and the same is true for you. Your environment is either lifting you or limiting you. The people closest to you are either expanding your mindset or shrinking it. They're either encouraging your excuses or calling you higher. That's why it's so important to audit your circle, not with judgment, but with honesty. Who do you spend the most time talking to? What kind of conversations are you having? How do you feel after spending time with them? Drained or driven? Sometimes the hardest part of growth is outgrowing the people who no longer align with your vision. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you think you're better than them. It simply means you're choosing to protect your future, because your future depends on what you're feeding your mind. And people are a big part of that diet. Now, this doesn't mean you need a circle of millionaires or world leaders. It means you need a circle of people who are serious about growth, serious about becoming better, serious about living on purpose. People who will call you out when you slack off. People who won't let you settle. People who want to win and want you to win too. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, don't panic. Start seeking them out. Go where growth-minded people gather. Read books by people who inspire you. Join groups, online or in person, that focus on progress. Listen to voices that challenge you to raise your game. You don't need a crowd. You just need a few. It's also important to remember this. You are someone else's circle too. You're influencing people whether you know it or not. So ask yourself, what kind of energy do you bring into a room? Do you lift people up or bring them down? Are you an example of consistency and growth, or are you reinforcing the same old limits? Be the person you want to have around you. Raise your standard and others will follow. You don't have to cut everyone off to grow. but you do have to be intentional about who has your ear. Be kind to everyone. Love people. But don't give everyone access to your mindset. That's sacred territory. That's your future we're talking about. So if you've been feeling stuck, drained, or uninspired, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your circle. Maybe it's time to level up not just your goals, but your environment. Because you can't soar like an eagle if you spend all your time with people who are afraid to leave the ground. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with fire, and your life will catch it. Because in the end, your circle isn't just who's around you, it's who you're becoming. Number 6, don't just consume, apply. We're living in the information age. Books, videos, podcasts, courses. You can access more knowledge in 1 week than most people had in a lifetime, just 100 years ago. And that's a beautiful thing. But it also comes with a hidden danger, learning without applying. It's easy to fall into the trap of becoming a professional student. You watch all the right videos, you read all the right books, you nod in agreement, you feel inspired. But then nothing changes. You're learning a lot, but your life isn't moving forward. Why? Because information alone doesn't change lives. Action does. You don't get stronger by reading about push-ups. You get stronger by doing them. You don't become successful by knowing what successful people do. You become successful by doing what successful people do. Learning is only half the equation. The other half is application. Look at the story of Henry Ford. He wasn't the first person to invent the car, and he didn't have a formal education in engineering. But he understood how to take an idea and bring it to life. Ford studied how machines worked, how systems worked, and how people worked. But most importantly, he applied what he learned. He used that knowledge to revolutionize manufacturing with the assembly line. He didn't wait to be the smartest person in the room. He took action and adjusted along the way. That's the mindset that builds empires. The problem today isn't a lack of information. It's a lack of implementation. People are busy collecting, but not connecting. They're stockpiling advice, but not living it. They're waiting until they feel ready, until they've read one more book, finished one more course. But life doesn't reward what you know. It rewards what you do with what you know. Think of learning like a tool. A tool is only useful if you pick it up and use it. You can have a garage full of the best tools in the world, but if you never swing the hammer or turn the wrench, nothing gets built. Knowledge works the same way. If you don't act on it, it just gathers dust in your mind. That's why it's so important to develop a new habit. Learn something, then immediately do something with it. Read a chapter, then take one action based on it. Watch a video, then apply the concept that same day. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be real. Small actions taken consistently will always beat great ideas that sit on the shelf. Start asking yourself this simple question after you learn something new. How will I use this today? Not someday, not next week, today. That question turns learning into transformation. Also, don't get caught up in comparing yourself to people who've been applying for years. That's another trap. You might say, I already know this, but knowing and living it are two different things. Don't confuse familiarity with mastery. Real mastery is earned through repeated execution, through trial, error, correction, and persistence. And remember, action teaches you things theory never can. You might think you understand something, but when you put it into practice, you experience it. You discover the details, the challenges, the nuances that no book or video could ever fully explain. That's where growth happens. That's where wisdom is born. So if you've been reading, listening, watching, taking notes, great, keep learning. But don't stop there. Make learning a bridge to doing. Make information a gateway to transformation. Even if you're not sure you're doing it perfectly, take the step anyway. Because imperfect action beats perfect theory every time. You can adjust and refine as you go. But if you never go, nothing happens. Today, take a look at everything you've been learning and ask yourself, what's one thing I can apply right now? Then do it. Build the habit of turning lessons into lifestyle. Because that's the difference between knowing something and becoming something. You don't need more information to change your life. You need more implementation. So learn and then go do. That's where the power is. Number 7, face the fear. It's not going away. Let's get something straight. Fear isn't the enemy. Fear is human. It's natural. And it's not going anywhere. You will never get to a point in your life where fear disappears completely. People often wait for fear to fade before they act. They think, I'll do it once I'm not scared anymore. But that day never comes. And that's why so many people stay stuck. They don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they're waiting to stop feeling afraid. But here's the truth. Bravery is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing to feel the fear and still take the step. Fear shows up the loudest when you're getting close to something important. It screams when you try to grow, when you try to break old patterns, when you start stepping into who you really are. That's actually a good sign. It means you're not stuck. It means you're standing at the edge of change. Think about the story of Steve Harvey. Today, he's a household name, a successful comedian, TV host, and businessman. But before the fame, Steve was homeless. He lived in his car for 3 years, while chasing his dream of becoming a performer. There were nights he slept in parking lots, unsure of where the next meal would come from. Fear was real. Doubt was loud. But the dream was louder. He didn't wait until a perfect plan. He didn't wait until all the fear disappeared. He moved anyway. He trusted the process. And eventually the world caught up to his courage. The same applies to you, whatever you're afraid of. Starting the business, speaking in public, asking for the opportunity, setting a boundary, making a change. It's not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. Fear is a test, not a roadblock. It asks one simple question. How badly do you want it? The people who achieve great things aren't fearless. They're simply willing to act while afraid. They've learned how to walk with fear, how to breathe through it, how to use it as fuel. And that's something you can learn too. Start by acknowledging the fear. Don't run from it. Don't deny it. Look it in the eye and say, I see you, I hear you, but you don't make my decisions anymore. That shift in mindset changes everything. Fear loses its power the moment you stop giving it control. Then break the fear into small pieces. Don't try to conquer the mountain in one leap. Just take the first step. Make the first call. Write the first paragraph. Sign up for the class. It doesn't matter how small the action is. It matters that you take it. Because action reduces fear faster than anything else. The longer you sit with fear, the more it grows. But the moment you move, it begins to shrink. Also remember that fear often exaggerates the worst-case scenario. It paints pictures in your mind of everything that could go wrong. But most of the time, those fears never come true. And even when they do, you're stronger than you think. You'll handle it. You'll learn, you'll grow, and you'll come out the other side even more prepared. Every time you face fear, you build resilience. You build courage. You train your mind to trust your ability to act, not just react. And that's a skill you can use for the rest of your life. So what are you afraid of right now? What's the thing you've been putting off? Not because you can't do it, but because fear has been talking louder than your purpose. Let this be the moment you draw a line in the sand. Let this be the moment you say, I'm done letting fear decide what kind of life I get to live. Fear might still be there, but you'll be in motion. And once you start walking, you'll realize something powerful. You've always had what it takes. So take the step, send the message, show up, speak up, do it afraid. Because courage isn't about being unafraid. It's about choosing to move, even when you are. Number 8, build momentum. Small wins create big shifts. Success doesn't come from one giant leap. It comes from a series of small, consistent steps. That's the power of momentum. It starts small. So small, you might not even notice it at first. But if you keep it going, it becomes a force that's hard to stop. We often think progress has to be dramatic. We think it has to be a massive change, a bold move, a grand achievement. And because of that belief, we overlook the power of the small wins, the quiet victories, the things that don't make headlines, but absolutely move the needle. Momentum isn't built in bursts. It's built in rhythm. And the most successful people understand this. They don't wait for big breaks. They focus on doing the little things right, over and over again. They understand that small wins stacked daily lead to big changes over time. Think about how habits are formed. One push-up leads to two. One journal entry leads to a writing routine. One healthy meal leads to better energy, which to better focus, which leads to more progress. That's momentum. And once you start experiencing it, you don't want to stop. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. Let's take a look at James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. His entire philosophy centers around this principle, that small improvements, just 1% better every day, compound into massive results over time. He didn't build his reputation by creating viral content or chasing fame. He built it by consistently showing up, writing valuable insights, and sticking to a process. He knew that if he just kept going, kept stacking those small wins, eventually it would lead to something significant. And it did. That's how momentum works. It's invisible at first. You might be working hard, showing up, doing the right things, and not seeing results. But behind the scenes, something is building. And then one day it clicks. You feel the shift. The energy picks up. The results start to show. And what once felt heavy begins to feel natural. But none of that happens if you stop too soon. That's where most people fall off. They plant the seeds, but don't water them long enough. They go to the gym for a week, don't see abs, and quit. They start a business, hit a slow month, and pull back. They write a few pages, get writer's block, and give up. They miss the breakthrough because they never built the momentum to reach it. Here's what you need to remember. Small wins matter. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you win. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you win. Every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, no matter how small, you win. And those wins build confidence. They build belief. They prove to you that you're becoming the person who does the work, not just dreams about the result. So how do you start building momentum? Don't overthink it. Pick one area of your life you want to improve, and start with the smallest possible action. If you want to get fit, start with a 10-minute walk. If you want to save money, start by setting aside $1 a day. If you want to improve your mindset, start by writing one sentence of gratitude each morning. Make it so small that it's almost impossible to fail. Then do it again tomorrow, and again the next day. That's how momentum begins. And when you miss a day, and you will, don't let that break your streak. One bad day doesn't erase your progress. What matters is how quickly you get back on track. Momentum isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Over time, those little efforts turn into habits. Those habits turn into systems. And those systems carry you forward, even on the hard days. That's when you know you've got momentum. When you don't have to push as hard to keep going, because the habit is already rolling. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or unsure of where to begin, stop looking for the giant leap. Look for the next small step. Take it, and then take another. Because momentum is real, it's powerful, and it starts with one choice. Stack your wins, build your rhythm, create your shift. That's how transformation begins. One small win at a time. Number 9, fall in love with the process. We live in a results-obsessed world. Everywhere you look, people are celebrating outcomes, before and after photos, million-dollar milestones, success stories that make it all seem like it happened overnight. And while results are exciting, they can also be misleading. Because what doesn't get shown, what rarely gets celebrated, is the process that built those results. The daily grind, the early mornings, the late nights, the repetition, the frustration, the setbacks, and the quiet discipline when no one is watching. The truth. Results are a byproduct. The process is where the real work happens. The process is where you grow. And if you want long-term success, if you want change that actually lasts, you have to fall in love with the process. Falling in love with the process doesn't mean you enjoy every single moment. It doesn't mean it's always fun or exciting. It means you respect it. You embrace it. You commit to it, even when it's slow, even when it's boring, even when it's not paying off right away, because you know what's on the other side. Look at Walt Disney. Before he created a global empire, before Disneyland, before Mickey Mouse became a cultural icon, he was rejected over and over again. His first animation company went bankrupt. He was told he lacked creativity. His ideas were dismissed as unrealistic, but he loved what he was building. He believed in the work, even when there was no applause, no profit, and no guarantee. He kept showing up, refining his craft, obsessing over the details. That passion for the process built the legacy we see today. Too many people quit, not because they lack talent or potential, but because they get discouraged by slow results. They expect overnight transformation. They want instant returns. But real success doesn't work like that. Real success is like farming. You plant the seeds, you water them, you wait, you keep nurturing the soil, even when you don't see anything breaking through yet. And then with enough time and consistency, the harvest comes. That's the power of the process. It teaches you patience. It teaches you discipline. It humbles you. It shapes you into someone who can actually handle the success when it finally arrives. And here's the key. When you fall in love with the process, you stop needing constant validation. You stop obsessing over the scoreboard. You start enjoying the work itself, the reps, the routine, the little improvements. You realize that each day is a step forward, even if the progress is invisible to others. There's a reason athletes train in silence. A reason musicians practice scales no one ever hears. A reason writers draft page after page before publishing a single word. Mastery lives in the process. Consistency lives in the process. And joy. Believe it or not, real joy is found there too. Not just in the celebration at the finish line, but in the quiet pride of knowing you showed up again today. So how do you fall in love with the process? First, shift your focus. Stop only asking, what did I get? And start asking, who am I becoming? Every time you stay consistent, you're building a stronger identity. You're becoming someone who follows through, someone who honors their commitments, someone who doesn't quit when it's hard. Second, track your effort, not just your results. Measure your habits. Count the days you showed up, not just the pounds you lost or the money you earned. When you focus on effort, you stay motivated, even when the outcomes are still on the way. Third, celebrate small wins. Give yourself credit for progress, no matter how minor it seems. Did you wake up early? Did you stick to your routine? Did you resist an old habit? That's growth. Acknowledge it. Let it fuel you. Finally, remind yourself that every master was once a beginner. No one starts out great, but the ones who become great, they're the ones who fell in love with the reps, with the work, with the process. So wherever you are right now, whether you're at the beginning, stuck in the middle, or pushing toward the next level, don't rush it, don't resent it, respect it. Fall in love with the practice. Fall in love with the rhythm, because the process is where your power is. And once you commit to it fully, the results will take care of themselves. Number 10, make it bigger than you. There comes a point in every journey where your own goals, your own desires, and your own dreams aren't enough to keep you going. When the road gets hard, and it will, when you're tired, overwhelmed, or tempted to quit, you need something deeper, something stronger, something bigger than you. Because here's the truth. When your mission is only about you, it's easy to walk away. But when your mission is tied to something greater, when it impacts others, when it serves a purpose beyond your personal gain, that's when you tap into a whole new level of strength. It's not just about reaching your goals. It's about what happens when you do. Who gets inspired? Who gets helped? Who gets to rise? Because you refuse to give up. Look at the life of Mother Teresa. She didn't pursue wealth. She didn't chase fame. She lived a life of simplicity and sacrifice. And yet her impact shook the world. She wasn't driven by ego. She was driven by purpose. Her mission was to serve the poor, the sick, the forgotten. That calling gave her a level of determination and resilience that no paycheck could have provided. It wasn't about her. It was about them. And that's what made her unstoppable. When you connect your goals to service, your excuses start to disappear. Suddenly, I'm tired doesn't hold the same weight. I don't feel like it loses its power. Because now, showing up isn't just for you, it's for the people counting on you. Your family, your community, the next generation. Or maybe even the person you used to be, the one who was lost, broken, or stuck, who desperately needed someone like you to show them the way. When your purpose is bigger than your pride, your pain becomes fuel. Maybe you want to break a generational cycle in your family. Maybe you want to create opportunities you never had. Maybe you want to be an example for your children. Maybe you want to honor someone who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. Whatever it is, find your reason and let it be bigger than your excuses. Because when you make your mission about others, you become more than just a goal setter. You become a difference maker. Your work has weight. Your effort echoes. Your progress doesn't just change your life. It inspires others to change theirs. This is why people build schools, launch charities, mentor youth, speak on stages. Not because it's easy, but because they know the power of purpose. They know that when your life becomes a tool for something greater, your strength multiplies. You wake up with urgency. You push harder. You endure longer. Because the outcome matters to more than just you. Even in business, this principle holds true. The most successful companies, the ones that last, aren't just chasing profits. They're solving problems. They're helping people. They have a mission that resonates with their audience and their team. The money is a byproduct. The impact is the fuel. And your life is no different. So take a step back from your personal goals and ask yourself the deeper question: why does this matter? Who am I doing this for? How will my growth affect others? Maybe your fitness journey isn't just about looking good. Maybe it's about showing your kids what discipline looks like. Maybe your business dream isn't just about financial freedom. It's about creating jobs, serving clients, and building something your family can be proud of. Maybe your healing journey isn't just for your own peace. It's to break a chain, so the next generation doesn't have to fight the same battles. Your story matters, voice matters, your effort matters. And when you realize that, excuses start to fade. Fear loses its grip. Laziness becomes a luxury you can no longer afford. So let your purpose be louder than your pain. Let your mission be stronger than your mood. Make your goals about more than just achievement. Make them about impact, legacy, meaning. Because the most powerful version of you isn't the one chasing comfort. It's the one chasing purpose. And the moment your dream becomes bigger than you, that's the moment you become unstoppable. You've made it through all 10 chapters, 10 powerful truths, 10 steps to a different kind of life. A life without excuses. A life built on clarity, discipline, courage, and purpose. By now you know this isn't about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or having all the answers. It's about one thing: deciding that you're done playing small. Deciding that you're done living behind the excuses that have followed you for years. Deciding that your future is worth fighting for. Because the honest truth is this: your life will only change when you do. You can listen to every video, read every book, take every course. But until you take responsibility, take action, and stay consistent, nothing changes. But here's the good news. You don't need to take 1,000 steps today. You just need one. One step in the right direction. One step that says, I'm not going back. One step that starts your momentum. Maybe that means waking up earlier. Maybe it means having a hard conversation. Maybe it means writing the first page, making the first call, taking the first walk. Whatever it is, do it today. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. No more waiting. No more blaming. No more stalling. This is your moment. You've got everything it takes. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. All you need is the courage to get serious about the life you were meant to live. So stand up. Show up. Start now. No more excuses. It's time to get serious. And your future self will thank you for this day, the day everything changed.